Yo, I had to hear him turn this on. This is not real life. I just sat down with my Dunkin', and I promise you, this squirrel like came over and like stood up and was like, "Hey yo, you got something for me?" He's literally like stalking me at this point. Well, I sat down with my damn Dunkin', and yeah, what am I, Snow White? Who's out here feeding me squirrels? Okay, y'all watch my six, cause if this squirrel jumps me, this squirrel jumps me, I'm gonna scream. I'm praying it doesn't rain because it's cloudy out. I don't even know if y'all can see me. Okay, he's gone. Y'all, I'm scared. Like, you know, I had a friend in middle school who got bit by a squirrel. Oh my God, there's another one. Y'all, I'm not gonna make it. Tell my kids I love them. Tell my man I love him. I'm about to get jumped. They're about to jump me. All right, well, let's get that. First of all, I gotta get a little bite in. So, hey guys. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to my channel. This is super unprofessional, but y'all, I have got to like eat my food real quick because these squirrels, I'm serious, these are like gangbangers. Like, they throwing up they set and all that over here. I might not make it home tomorrow for today. Like, I'm not even playing. I'm scared. All right, so hey there, friends. While I'm over here fighting for my life with this squirrel, let's talk about this vlog. So, it's back to school time. I figured, let's read some YA. All right, let's do a full-on like reading vlog dedicated to YA. So, I brought all 3 of the books with me that I plan on reading in this vlog, but we're gonna start with one. So, we've got Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. I did a little poll over on Instagram, and because I've got 2 like emotional reads. I got Monday's Not Coming. I've got You Reach Sam by Dustin Tao, and then You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Caitlin Bayron. So I figured these 2 are gonna emotionally wreck me, so I need to start with one or the other. So I did a little poll over on Instagram, and I mean, I wasn't surprised that Monday's Not Coming won. That being said, not a lot of people voted. Y'all, if you're not following me over on Instagram, go follow me over on Instagram. Yeah, I like to have a good time over there. I like to be silly. So, if you like short form content, you know, short films, catch me there. So, anyway, we're gonna start with this. I don't know how long I'm in here because there's actually more people here than I realized. So, I'm gonna get into this. But before we do, y'all know the drill. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Let's get into this. I don't know if you guys can even see that. I failed to mention that we're going to read immersively. There's just a lot popping off right now. So we're going to read our physical and listen. So, all right. I actually turn it on.
Summer is always surprising me in just a bit. It's mid-July, then it's gone, and I haven't moved on. Summer is always confusing me. Honestly, I thought I'd feel warm, but I'm cold. It's getting old. I've said so many times, when summer comes around, I'll be ready for the ride. I'll be ready this time. I'll be ready for it all.
Do y'all see me right now? Baby, do y'all see the sweat pouring down my face? You see the sweat pouring down my face? Okay, first and foremost, baby, for all my wig wearers out there, I don't know how y'all do it in the summer. Like, seriously, I am sweating. As my cousin would say, I'm sweating like a sheep in heat, baby. So it wasn't even that bad at first because it was overcast. I was even afraid it was gonna rain. Like, it was really looking cloudy. But baby, the heat got to cooking this brown meat. So I got about 14% into the book. Y'all, that intro for the video was trash. Let me just say, I mean, first of all, I feel like I didn't open the vlog up very well. One, because of that the squirrel trying to attack me. Two, what's this person doing? Okay, well, we're just gonna, I mean, no, bro, you done sat there this long, you gonna keep sitting there. Anyway, one, the squirrels, right? First, y'all, it was one squirrel, and then a second one. Y'all know I'm looking cross-eyed because I'm trying to like drive, and we just gonna give up on her, baby. We gonna give up on Whitney. Whitney just done. Whitney done went to the upper room on me here, y'all. But yeah, the squirrels, and then there was this cute, adorable little 4-year-old who was, you know, talking to me about the squirrels. and then this couple, Hank and Peggy Hill, show up feeding the damn squirrels. Yo, bro, I'm filming. What the hell? Like, y'all, this isn't even like a full-on park. This is like a little walking path with a little tennis ball court, and a little playground. But still, what are y'all doing here right now? I mean, there's nicer parks. I literally come to that one, which maybe they're thinking the same thing. You know, I go to that one to like beat any crowds, or to avoid crowds, and maybe that was their same thinking. Yo, I look like, oh my God, I don't know. I keep doing it because it's on my forehead. If y'all see my hair up underneath the wig, no, you didn't. But baby, I gotta go home. I'm sweating. I was feeling cute. I wanted to do like a little full body shot for y'all so y'all can see my little outfit. You know, normally I'd be looking a mess. But I got this jumper from Halara, and it is so cozy, and I'm not gonna say cozy because cozy makes me think warm, but it's so comfy, and just, baby, you just slip your little stuff into it and go, okay? But it's cute. I feel cute in it, or at least I did feel cute in it until sweat started rolling down my back. But yeah, I'm 14% in, and you know, nothing's happened to like, you know, it's still early on, so nothing's happened to like really make me sad, but I'm 14% in. The little girl's been missing for like a month, and like the school, and look, I know, but you know, I get it. You know, kids register and unenroll all the time, yada yada yada, and so forth. But you know, this little girl goes to like their favorite teacher, and it's like I haven't seen Monday in a month. So teacher's like, what? So they go to the office, and the office like, oh, she's not enrolled. And even the teacher's like, look, yo, like I used to teach in New York, and you know, kids didn't show up on the, you know, the first day of school or something. You know, the school normally kind of looks into why they're not here. And the lady in the office is like, well, I'll make a note of things, but you know, like basically this is par for the course. It happens. Kids come and go. But, and I get it, but still, it's like, I mean, this is, you know, this is this little girl's person, you know, this is this little girl's person, and she's expecting more than just, oh, hey, this happens, kids come and go, you know. Let's just sit in the herb for a minute before I run in the house. So, yeah, since I didn't get a proper, I'm gonna turn the air down. Since I didn't get a proper introduction, what's up, my peoples? Hey there, Hayes. What's going on, guys? What are you guys reading? As you can see, I'm reading young adult. It's back to school time. The kids are in school. Also, shocker, I thought these kids were in high school, but no, they're eighth graders in this book. They're middle school girls. But I'm gonna get up in this house, Hierney, and Whitney got to go. Whitney gonna have to go. She served her purpose for the day. I was cute for a little bit. I might give me a couple more little pictures in. But then, baby, I'm gonna snatch my own wig. Off, okay? And yeah, so I'll probably get some more reading done. Like, this is good. I love the pacing of, I've read 2 other books by Tiffany D. Jackson, and I love the fact that her chapters are so short. And I think that's definitely, I think she knows what she's doing. The fact that this is young adult and these chapters are so short, because honestly, kids nowadays, their attention span is like that. Hell, I'm 40 and my attention span is like that. So yeah, I love that she gives us, you know, this information in short bites. Yeah, so I'm like I said, I'm 14% in. I'm enjoying it. I've been listening and reading in tandem. Yeah, so far yeah,
I really need to get better about checking in during reading vlogs, you know, updates here and there. So y'all, I finished this last night. You know, this is the first book in like almost a year that I have finished in a 24-hour span. You know, less than 24 hours. I started this yesterday, like what, around noon, and yeah, and then was done by literally 11:57 p.m. Like, so less than 24 hours I finished this. And y'all, I just wanted to check in. Like, I can't do a full breakdown just yet. Like this, I had to watch something before I went to sleep, because there was no way that I could go to bed with this book on my mind. But then when I got up this morning and I was getting ready to take my son to school, this book was on my mind. And y'all, I cried. This is so freaking heartbreaking. And you know, it's like you kind of already suspect, even with everyone like giving you these forewarnings, even, you know, knowing the premise, you kind of have this feeling that there's not going to be a good outcome for this child, you know, for Monday. But it still doesn't prepare you. I was still not prepared for the conclusion of this, just how heartbreaking this story is. Tiffany D. Jackson, her thrillers are so heartbreaking because they're true. Maybe, you know, Monday herself, you know, is a fictitious character. Claudia is a fictitious character. But there are Mondays out there somewhere, you know. There are children, brown and black children, who go missing and every day. And you know, the search for them isn't met with the vigor that is for white children. And you know, I don't want to hear anybody don't comment in my comments, because this is, you know, backed by facts and science, you know. Just the way, you know, there's statistics on, you know, there's statistics on it, you know. So yeah, it's heartbreaking. And the one thing that I will say before I, like, you know, fully break this down at the end of the video, is that this Monday was failed. Monday was failed by everyone in her life. Just by everyone except for Claudia. You know, Claudia never gave up. She never gave up on finding her friend. She knew something was wrong, and none of the adults in her life really listened. No one did anything. No one did enough. You know, the there's that saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, Monday's village failed her. It just did. Oh, That's Monday's Not Coming. Excellent read. I went ahead and put 4 stars on Goodreads just so I could at least say I finished it. This I don't know. I don't know if I'll adjust that. If I adjusted it, it would be to make it higher. It's definitely at the very least it's a 4-star. I might readjust that rating. So next up, like I said, we about to get into this. Let me look at the time. I got a little time before I have to go pick up my son. So I'm gonna get into this. But yeah. All right. Let's go. Let's get into this. Oh wait, I need my headphones too because we immersive reading, baby. Let me go get my headphones and let's get this started. Told myself I want to get better about updating while reading. So I have made it to page 103. So getting ready to start chapter 8. So this is starting off good. So it's giving it's definitely like giving those like the classic horror film. I don't read a lot of horror, so my point of reference is horror films. So it's giving you those. We're getting those like creepy moments, not like jump scares, but you're getting those moments of tension. You're getting like the creepy sounds. We're seeing figures in the dark. You know, like in the classic like Jason films, there was like always that crazy man, like the crazy person ranting and raving about, you know, the camp and the history of the camp. So we've already kind of met this kind of crazy, this crazy woman. So this is set at like I guess it's like one of those like scare parks or whatever, like, you know, like the I don't know, we have like Field of Screams here, so something like that. You know, it's like one of these horror amusement parks, right? And it is supposed to be set up as camp. It's Camp Mirror Lake. So this horror attraction is supposed to be based on a movie. So, like I said, we've had some like eerie moments where, you know, like our main character who plays the final girl in these horror presentations, these horror theatrical presentations. You know, she's starting to like see things. There's creepy things happening, like finding dead birds with broken necks, but just thinking, oh hey, I don't know what happened. I mean, how did this bird's neck get broken? Yeah, and then you have that one friend who's like this horror buff, who's, you know, almost like Randy and Scream, you know, like, oh hey, don't you guys be, you know, getting it on, you know, if we were in a real horror film, you know, that'd be the kickoff to, you know, to us getting sliced and diced. And now where I am at in the book, they've had a stunning revelation about Camp Mirror Lake from one of the camp counselors, one of their grandparents who was around back in the 1970s. They've just learned that there was an actual camp there before, but no one, you know, history has had a way of, you know, hiding that and concealing that from them. So anyway, so a fun time, good time. Like I said, it's given the classic 80s horror film vibes, and I'm digging it. All right, so check-in time. So I finished You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. I finished it yesterday. And y'all, this was probably one of my favorite reads this year. This was so much fun. I just couldn't help like smiling while reading this, which is insane, right? Because it's a horror, right? But the nostalgia that this book gave me. If you are a fan of, like, you know, the classic slasher films, or, you know, the slasher films from at least, you know, the past like 40 years, like this is an excellent read. You know, if you're a fan of the Jason Voorhees, you know, the Friday the 13th movies, the Halloween movies, the Scream, you know, franchise, if you're a fan of, you know, those movies, you want to read this. The way that she's able to tell this story and walk you through it, it's like you're in it, like you're visualizing it. She is walking you through a movie script. It is just so detailed, you know, down to like the creaking sounds. You know, you feel that tension when these characters are like hiding underneath something and there's someone walking, you know, in the room above them. You feel that tension, you know, in them. You know, you feel that fear that they have of, you know, being discovered, or the fact that, oh my God, there's someone in the room, you know. And the way that she ends each chapter, you know, with like these little, like these moments of, you know, realization, or these moments of dread, the way she just keeps you wanting to read more and more. This is about our main character, Charity, and her friends and co-workers. You know, they work at like a fear simulation park, right? And every night she gets to play the final girl. You know, the final girl is the girl who survives, you know, at the end of the slasher movies. And so they, you know, they go from acting in this simulation to, hey, there's really somebody out there trying to kill them. And what's even more like amazing is this was her first horror novel. If I'm like understanding what I read in the author's note at the end, if I'm understanding that correctly, this was her first foray into horror. And Kaylin, girl, bravo to you, because this was a good time. This was a very good time. Yeah, and a lot of representation in this. I don't know if you can see Sus on the cover here. She a cutie. But there's this line, I think I even said it to you all already, but you definitely a sister, because this is dead ass something we would say. Yeah, don't even ask how long it took me to search for this. Okay, so anyway, like our main girl, Charity, like she's They just finished a performance. She's headed to the showers, and you know, she starts, you know, her spidey senses start tingling, you know, she starts feeling like something ain't right. Okay, so she says, I try to get my heart to settle. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, first of all, I think a raccoon scared her or something. Okay, so I try to get my heart to settle back into some kind of normal rhythm as I climb the steps to the community showers. I grab my key, but as I go to put it in the lock, I find that the main door is already unlocked and sitting slightly ajar. I shine my light through the cracked door. Do not play with me, I say aloud. I reach into my shower kit, pull out a can of mace, and flip off the safety. I will mace you and I won't feel bad about it. Silence. The hair on the back of my neck stands straight up. My flashlight falters, blinking on and off twice. Don't you dare, I say, knocking it against the door frame until the beam of light is continuous and steady. Now, in this situation, horror films tell us that the final girl might go ahead and enter the community showers, disrobe, and then barely escape a masked killer as she slips around butt naked in the bathroom. However, I only play a final girl at Camp Mirror Lake. I don't actually want to be one. I turn my black ass right around and book it back to my cabin, where I close and lock the door. For now, my face full of fake blood is going to stay just the way it is. Honey, no lies. So when she said I turn my black ass around, damn straight, turning my black ass around, and I'm out of here. I'll wash my ass when the thread is over. Okay, just yeah, just really fun read. Yeah, I highly recommend it. I fear, you know, people talk about like auto by authors. I'm so intrigued now by her writing. Like, after reading this was so much fun. I think, dare I say, I think I need her entire catalog. I just do. This was like such a fun, this is a perfect palate cleanser, perfect good time. So if you are ever in need of a palate cleanser and you are not a romance girly, not a fluffy romance girly, pick this up. For sure you will have a good time. All right, so it is skin o'clock. I ain't got my watch on. It is almost time for me to get signed in for work. But next up on our list, so we had our little in between, our little palate cleanser, right? We had Monday's Not Coming, which and then we had this was a good time. So now we're gonna take ourselves back down in the dumps with You've Reached Sam. Y'all, I am in my YA bag this year. Like, I am in my YA era for sure. And with fall coming, I'm gonna have to find me some nice cozy YA something or another's or something. Maybe keep this going. Yeah, have you read anything by Kalynn Bayron? Let me know down in the comments. What should I read next from her? Let me know. All right, y'all, let me go get paid. Okay, because these these good looks aren't gonna buy these books. Oh my god, y'all, bars? Stop it. Stop it. Run me my contract. Run me my record deal. All right, let me go. I'll talk to y'all later, okay? Yeah, no, that's better. That's right. All right, y'all. So I am headed to the library, and I just wanted to show you guys, like, look, I'm no fashionista, and my wardrobe is like awful. But okay, so earlier in the video, you probably saw me in this jumper in the mauve tone or pink. I got it in black too, you guys. It's just so comfortable, right? I'm not gonna lift my armpits because I need to shave, and I didn't realize that until today. But anyway, so yes, we got the jumper with the nice pockets on them, and you know, all black. We're doing all black except for the shoes. So yeah, we're getting ready to head to the library, but I just wanted to show my cute little jumper because she's feeling kind of cute. So yeah, so I'm headed to the library. Don't be looking at my cleavage.
We're gonna start. You've reached Sam. Y'all, I'm getting ready to cry in public. I just know it. But we're gonna stop and get some coffee first. I'm cutting my head off. We're gonna stop and get some coffee first. I have a couple of those books that I need to return, so we're gonna return those. We're getting ready to dive into this. This is the last book for the vlog. So I got today and tomorrow to read this book. It's go time, baby. Because I need to start editing this video. So head to the library, gonna grab some coffee first, and then we're gonna have our hearts broken. All right, check in with you all in a bit. Okay, y'all, I am deeply regretting not getting a venti, and I think that I'm addicted to coffee. I really am. I need a hard reset. But like, I just strolled in there, got my little venti, and I'm like, not venti, it's got my grande, and I'm like, this is so small. I'm not used to this. It's venti or nothing. But I just wanted to chat for a minute. Y'all, my birthday is in like 3 weeks, and I'm so excited. I mean, like, Lord, I survived. I'm surviving. Okay? I'm living. I'm not gonna say I'm just surviving, but, you know, Lord willing, I make to see that birthday. You know what I'm saying? But Babe was like, so like, where do you want to go out to eat? You know, for your birthday, where do you want to go out to eat? Baby, I'm not thinking about food. You can pick whatever restaurant you want. I told him, I was like, I just want to go book shopping. I just want to go book shopping. Baby, we can eat at home. Please invest your money in a book shopping experience for me. Okay? I mean, we ain't gotta do nothing major. I'm not expecting, you know, double-digit books, but I want to go book shopping. We can eat anywhere, baby. I don't even need to be out eating. We can stop at Chick-fil-A, get a salad. I wouldn't be mad at that. So I took off. I put a request in to take off a Saturday. You know, normally I work Saturdays, but you know, he's only off on the weekend, so he was like, hey, you know, put in for a Saturday. So I'm like, cool, bet. So, you know, I'm excited. I want to go book shopping so bad. So we're gonna do that a few days before my birthday, because my birthday's on a Tuesday, right? Yeah, I think my birthday's on a Tuesday. So, and I have to work, you know. So, but you know, I think maybe like we'll do our little thing together that weekend. But I think maybe like that Wednesday, like the day after my birthday, maybe I'll do something with myself. You know, give myself a little extra, extend my birthday, because I can do that if I want to. There are no rules in this game of life, okay? But I might wait until like on that Thursday. That's payday. Yeah, I think that Thursday after my birthday. So that way, if there was anything that I didn't get that Saturday, you know, I'll just pick up the slack on my payday the following week. Birthday's coming up in like 3 weeks, y'all. What do I need to add to the shopping list? Let me know down in the comments. What books do y'all feel like, yo, Shalita, you need to get? What new releases are coming out? You know, in the next couple of weeks, what do I need to get? What do I need to get now? Okay, let me know. Oh, look, my ass is running my mouth. I'm getting ready to completely miss the library.
Smiley faces in the vapor, counting corners till we get to any place but where I'm at. Every exit's getting louder. I'd assure you that it's nothing, but you never saw it coming, none of it. But then, how could you now? A part of me wants you to see, a part of me hopes that you won't look in the mirror and find me a window crying in the car home. I left you a tear on my cheek,
Barbara chicken, little orange chicken. Hold on, let me turn this all the way down before we get a copyright. And roll these windows up because y'all probably can't hear me. Anyway. A little something, a little fuel. I think I got to like page 42 or 52 in the book. So, went to the store, just picked up a couple things. Bae's little tummy hurts. So, we just picked him up a little medicine and some water. And, yeah, so I just picked up me and my daughter some Chinese. And, yeah, we're gonna grub and then we're gonna work on this assignment of hers. Then I'll pick up my son from school. And then it's back to reading. Okay. Look. So nothing devastating has happened yet. I mean, they're wrong. Something devastating happened, but it hasn't been like, nothing that's been said so far has like ripped my heart out. It's made me go like, oh. But nothing has ripped my heart out yet. So, I mean, there's still plenty of time for it to get more poetic, but nothing has happened so far. The writing has not moved me to tears just yet. And I'm not saying this is a bad book, but I guess I'm just used to more like mushy gushy like descriptions, and this is not really reading mushy gushy. So I might not be a crybaby today. This book might not make me cry. I might be okay. It's a decent read so far. I mean, I'm 42 pages. That's not far enough to really form, you know, a concrete opinion yet. All right, I'm home. I'm gonna go eat and then help my baby with her homework. So, I will check back in. I gotta get back into this book. Like I said, today and tomorrow, it's gotta get done. There's other things on that cart that need to get read. Okay, I'm really trying to get into Dracula, I can't even say it. Dracula, My Love. I think that's what I'm gonna read next. Honestly, I think I'm ready. I think I'm gonna give me some wine when I start reading it. Cause honey, me about to spill all the tea. And I know I have the audacity to be talking about another book when I'm reading another book. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the gossip. I'm excited, y'all. But anyway, back to my, this is the back to school vlog. So, all right, food, kid, other kid. Then we're gonna be back to reading. All right, I'll check in with y'all later. Bye. Oh God. All right, so quick check-in. So y'all, I'm sitting out here on the porch and it is so nice out here. Like, I don't even want to go in the house. It's feeling like spring or like early fall. It's so nice out here. I think it's like 78 degrees today. Like what are we even living in right now? What reality is this? I am about I think I'm like 37% into this, and y'all, it's starting. I did page 90. I did tear up. I did. It's starting to get that little squeeze on my chest a little bit. We're like in the story. We're like a week. It's like a week after Sam's death, and I'm not giving nothing away. It's on the back of the book. I already told y'all this. We know that Sam dies. So it is a week after Sam dies. We kind of see Julie, our main character. She's kind of going in and out of, I don't want to say in and out of reality, but I don't know if she's just having these dreams or whether she's just kind of remembering things, but we get these moments where she's remembering some of their moments together, and she'll be in one memory, one moment, and then she'll, like, let's say she's having a memory of them in the coffee shop. Well, she'll get up and like go to leave the coffee shop, and then she jumps into another memory. So we're kind of being walked through their memories at moments. We've got to the point where she called him, right? And so they're starting to have these phone calls, these conversations. He was essentially her world. Like, she had other friends, but he was, I don't want to say he was it for her, but you know, they were a couple, but they had this bond, you know, that they each didn't have with anyone else. So, you know, after he died, she pretty much is, you know, withdrawing herself from everything and everybody. She's blaming herself, and she's convinced that others probably blame her too. Yeah, so she's just struggling. And then one night she just gets the gumption to call his phone, and, you know, probably just to hear his voicemail, probably just to hear his voice, and he answers. This is gonna have, like, I get that this has like some magical realism elements to it, but this feels like that movie The Lake House, and with I think it's with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. I feel like this is, clearly they're transcending like time and space. They're like in their own world, you know, because clearly, you know, in reality, there's just absolutely no way they should be able to communicate with each other. There's no way. This guy's dead, right? The moment that I teared up, there's this moment in the book where they're talking, you know, this is after he's died, right? And they're getting ready to get off the phone, and she's like, you know, like I know this isn't forever, but I don't want this to end. And he's like, you know, don't worry, you know, this won't end until we're ready to say goodbye. 'Cause she's like, I'm not ready to say goodbye. And he's like, you know, we'll both know when that time comes. And she's like, I don't want you to leave me. And she's like, you know, just promise me, you know, you won't just up and leave me again. And he's like, I promise I won't. And I just, oh my God, that just got me. But so her and his best friend like didn't get along. Like, they were both kind of jealous of each other, you know, jealous of each other's relationship with Sam. You know, his best friend felt like she was taking Sam away from him, and she felt like he didn't like, you know, like she could feel that he didn't like her. So she kind of felt like they have this bond that she couldn't get through or whatever. And so they're starting to kind of be there for each other, and they had this moment where they admitted, like, to each other, like, hey, I was jealous of you. I was jealous of y'all relationship. And so they both are so close with Sam, and no one else gets what they're going through. So they're both becoming each other's solace, and you know, they're able to bond over this shared grief because no one knew Sam the way they both did. So it's just, you know, but there's this moment in the book, and it got me. It really did, because, you know, my nephew died young. My sister's oldest son died young. And there's this line in here that he says, and, you know, he's talking about, you know, how, you know, before Julie came along, you know, how him and Sam made all these plans together. You know, they were planning, you know, for their future together. And he says, you know, he was talking about how, you know, basically, you know, they live in a small town. He was talking about how they had planned to leave that town. And he says, you know, it really kills me, you know, that he never made it out of here. That this was it. That this line was as far as he got. So they're at like they're standing at the what do you call it? The city limit, the town limit, you know, and he had told her that that's somewhere that him and Sam would always kind of go when they were just in their head. They needed, you know, to just kind of get out. They would just walk to the city limit and basically cross that line over, like, hey, we're gonna get out of this town. And so he was just saying that it just hurts to know that he'll never get beyond that. And that really hit me, because it just made me think about my nephew, and and not just my nephew, but these kids and these like school shootings, and these kids that are dying young, that their lives are just starting, and they'll never, my nephew didn't get to graduate, so these kids won't get to graduate. They won't get to, get that first big job, meet the love of their life, start a family. And I'm a big old crybaby. So yeah, that just, that hit me. I was gonna stay out here a little longer, but my neighbor is cutting grass, and y'all, I absolutely hate the smell of fresh cut grass. And the wind is blowing, so I know it's gonna like blow that smell this way. So I literally will gag. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in. I think tomorrow's gonna be amazing too. So I'll probably come out here and read some more tomorrow. Maybe even go to the park. But yeah, I just wanted to check in with you guys and let you know how things are going. So yeah, not a lot of boo-booing, but definitely like squeezing on pulling at my heartstrings with this one. So all right, I will check in with you guys tomorrow.
Something like you love me one more time. I need to hear it. Just one more time. Say that it's over. Say that the sadness is killing you now, that you're feeling it in your so raw feelings. Everybody leaving, but I am sinking further away.
So we finished our 3 books. We finished our 3 books for the back to school reading vlog, and I just want to say that I'm like pretty proud of myself for reading 3 books in 1 week, and maybe that's not a lot to some of you all. I mean, I did read 3 books in my 24-hour reading vlog. That was different. That was like, that was insanity. I want to try it again, but yeah. But just for normal, average reading practices, I have never completed 3 books in a week's time frame. So pretty proud of myself for that. So, let's get into these, okay? Monday's not coming. As promised, as warned, this book broke my heart. This book, and just a little bit over an hour ago, I'm like, jotting down notes, trying to prepare myself for this wrap up, and I don't know, call it, flashbacks, call it perimenopause. I don't know. I felt myself getting worked up again. I felt the tears welling in my eyes again, because this story is just so heartbreaking. In this novel, this is a, if you just fumbled your way through the entire vlog and just skipped ahead to here, this is a young adult thriller. This follows, this is a story about Claudia and Monday. Claudia and Monday are the best of friends. They are BFFs. They are in middle school. So at the start of the book, it's the summer's coming to an end. It is time for them to start their 8th grade year. Claudia has been away for the summer at her grandmother's. She goes away for the summer every summer. And so she's eager and excited to get back, to her best friend, she's eager and excited to get back to her best friend. You know, she's making all these plans like, oh, you know, they have like their matching backpacks and their matching notebooks, or not matching, but like coordinating. She gets to school and she's like looking for her, and Monday's not there, which is highly unusual because Monday never misses. Monday is that child with perfect attendance, or for the most part, she never misses, unless she's sick. You know, there was one time when she was sick with the flu and she was out for like a month. But other than that, ordinarily, Monday does not miss. So as I said, these two are best friends, but really they are they are outcast. So besides each other, they have no one else in this school. So without Monday being there, you know, Claudia feels alone and isolated against, these, the popular kids, the bullies, there's these kids who basically, hate them, for absolutely no reason other than, preteens and teens tend to be assholes. Claudia just keeps running into these brick walls. She keeps trying to tell people, hey, something's not right. This is my best friend. She's like my sister, My sister wouldn't just fall off the face of the earth. Something's wrong and I don't know what. But, everybody just kind of keeps gaslighting her. Like, oh, well, maybe she's busy, or, maybe your friendship is kind of dwindling out, or maybe, just all kinds of excuses to kind of placate her and keep her from worrying. For me, the biggest theme in this book was failure. Failed. Monday was failed by the school system. Monday was failed by law enforcement. Monday was failed by her own family. Monday was failed by her community. All the signs were there that this child was in trouble. And everyone seemed to turn a blind eye. Everyone turned a blind eye except her best friend, except the child. Except a child. There was no one advocating for this child. No one was advocating for Monday except for a child. Yeah, this book just highlights basically the issues that we have, the issues that we have with Black and brown children that go missing in this country every year at staggering rates, and at compared to their white counterparts, the disproportionate rates that they go missing in this country. So in 2022, there was a study done, and in 2022, stats for 2022 is over a half a million people were reported as missing. Of that number, 36% of them were identified as Black youth and Black women. That is so alarming. That's so staggering, because how is it that we only make up 13 to 14% of the U.S. population, but almost half of the missing people on this list are Black children, women? It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And this is a work of fiction, but it's based on facts. I don't know when I'm going to read another one of Miss Jackson's books, but I do know that I do want to sorry guys, I started watering so the nose. I want to buy up the rest of her catalog. So good book, heartbreaking. If you've never read anything by her, pick this one up. Out of the 3 books that I've read so far from her, this is definitely the best one. The Weight of Blood, probably just because of, you know, like some of the Carrie vibes to it. You know, if you're more looking for like thrills and chills, you know, that might be more your speed, your vibe. But I mean, it still has that social commentary piece to it. But this is definitely very heartbreaking. It makes you kind of, you know, reflect on your community and what's going on in the world. And yeah, so good read. Okay, so then we switched gears because I knew that one was gonna, you know, break me down. So next we switched gears to You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kalynn Bayron. Y'all, this was her first foray into horror, and I'm gonna need for her to write more. This is YA horror, and I ate it up. Absolutely loved it. I was smiling while reading this. I was like grinning. I wasn't like terrified or anything like that, but it's the nostalgia for me, okay? Like, I'm an 80s baby, 90s kid, you know, grew up watching those, you know, slasher films, you know, the Friday the 13th series, the Halloween franchise. Shout out to Michael Myers, that's my guy. The Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, all those great slasher films from the 80s and the 90s. Yeah, that's what I grew up watching, and this is like the perfect ode to those movies. The story follows our main character, Charity. Charity is she's now, you know, these are high school kids, mind you, but she is like the senior staff member at this like, you know, Field of Screams. And I don't know if you all have Field of Screams where you are, but you know, like one of these like haunted house type situations, but they call it like a terror simulation, right? So basically it's like this this theme park that is designed to look like a summer camp. Kind of run into this crazy old lady with a shotgun, right? And things kind of go downhill after that. Creepy things start happening, right? Some of the staff start, you know, coming up missing, but they don't, but it's not really that, you know, I don't want to say this. It's one of those, it's like that foreshadowing for us. This is for us, you know, the reader. So like Charity's like, oh yeah, well, you know, Jerome, and that's not a character's name, I was making that up because I can't remember because we never meet this character. They're like, yeah, well, Jerome and, you know, Lizzie didn't show up for their shift. You know, whoa, what a bunch of slackers, you know, oh, how dare they, you know, leave us with all this work to do. And then they go on their cabin and they're like, oh my God, it's such a mess in here. How did they leave this mess? And oh, but Lizzie left her phone. Oh, but blah, 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 blah. Okay, so first of all, we as readers know there's no way that some, you know, Gen Zer is leaving their damn phone behind. Ain't no way. There's no way, you know. I'm an elder millennial, and if I feel like I left my phone somewhere, I'm freaking out, right? So ain't no way they don't hop, skip, and jump, you know, back to the city without their phone. So, you know, they're just, you know, the characters are a little dumb here. They're a little blind, but we know. As the reader, we know, something ain't right, baby. They probably did. So, yeah, a lot of your classic horror movie elements and action and gore. So, yeah, I mean, if you're not a fan of gore, there are some, you know, I mean, it's horror. There's some gore. It's horror, and it's an ode to slasher films. So there's some gore in here, okay? But just a really excellent, fun read. After reading this, I want to buy her entire catalog. I just really do. She This felt like a movie script, like we were being walked through a movie. I'm reading it, but I'm seeing it, baby. I'm seeing the movie playing out in my head. So excellent. And even more so when you read it immersively, when you listen to the audio and read it, chef's kiss. You're right. You're in the thick of it. Okay. So highly recommend this. This was so much fun to read. Okay. And the last book. You know how you see those like memes on social media about edibles, and it's like the point of view is like, oh yeah, this edible ain't shit, and then it's like, 4 hours later, and and so then the the punchline is, it takes a while to kick in. Now it's not that I was thinking this book ain't shit. That's not at all it. Okay, I was just, if you remember, at some point in the video, at some point in the vlog, I was like, oh, this is clutching at my heart a little bit, squeezing at my heart, but I haven't really cried. Y'all, I got to that ending last night and I was bawling. Baby, these babies had me bawling. I'm like, I can't breathe. My nose is stuffy now. My eyes are puffy. Woke up, eyes were crusty this morning. I mean, it's probably because of allergies, but baby, Sam and Julie wrecked me in the end of this, okay? So this is You've Reached Sam by Dustin Tao. This is a contemporary young adult fiction. So we have Julie and Sam, right? These are two high school seniors in a small town. So Sam is from this small town. Julie moved to this small town at some point in her high school career with her family. Mom gets a job, everybody moves, right? At some point her dad moves away because he's like, I'm not with the small town life. Goodbye. So anyway, so it's senior year, they are a couple, they are making plans for, moving to the big city once they graduate. And then something tragic happens. Sam dies after, being in a tragic accident. Julie's struggling with a lot of, not only the fact that, she's lost the love of her life, and so she's, destitute without him, but she has some guilt surrounding his death, just that self-blame. And then she feels also like, because Sam was well loved in his little community. And so she feels like the rest of the world, the rest of the community probably blames her for this. We're dealing a lot with grief and this journey of healing. This book just makes you think, what would you do? What would you do if you had the chance to, speak to a loved one that's no longer here? What would you do if you had that opportunity? Would you? I think most of us would take it. So, this is contemporary fiction, but clearly there's some elements of magical realism in here because, clearly we can't, just pick up a cell phone and call our dead boyfriends, our girlfriends, or loved ones, which is what Julie does. She's spiraling. I don't even know if I'd say spiraling. She's just in this deep, dark hole. And she just feels like no one understood her. No one gets her the way Sam did. And she misses him. And she picks up the phone and calls him. And lo and behold, Sam picks up. They start talking. And it's beautiful. They share these beautiful moments together. And, he takes her places. You know, when she realizes that it's really him, you know, like this isn't a prank, this isn't a joke, this is really him, you know, they kind of have these moments together. You know, Sam tells her, you know, that they have these moments until they're ready to tell each other goodbye, and they'll know when that moment comes. A lot of what this book tries to highlight or to emphasize is that, you know, there's a difference between letting go and moving forward. And Julie, she kind of struggles with that. She struggles with that in this, especially after she starts receiving these calls, or after her and Sam start communicating. You know, she starts missing, you know, missing things, missing other calls. The other calls aren't coming through because those are times when she's connected to Sam. So it's almost like the author is trying to, you know, highlight, you know, hey, if we spend too much time in the past, you know, we could miss out on amazing things in our future. But I also think that he's also, you know, telling these readers, telling these young folks that it's okay to miss someone, it's okay to love someone, but we have to keep moving forward. Also, to know that they're not alone, because Julie, she starts realizing that, you know, hey, yeah, I'm hurting, but there are other people who loved him too, and they miss him too, and you know, I want to be there for them. I need to, you know, together we can do this together. We can help each other heal, help each other cope through this. So, yes, this is a healing journey for Julie, and Julie's need to cope and heal and learn to move on. Or move forward. I'm not saying move on, but to move forward without necessarily, you know, forgetting or letting him go. But also, it kind of looks at, you know, like it's Sam, and as a, you know, as a person, you know, if you believe in the afterlife, and if, you know, you believe in, you know, spirits and things like that, but, you know, there's several times where she asks Sam, like, where is he? And I think we also, like, we don't really focus on Sam's journey necessarily, but I think it kind of hints at it too. Like, what's life like for him, or the afterlife like for him? What's his journey going to be like without Julie, without, you know, now that he's no longer in the land of the living? And oh yeah, that's kind of where it gets you at the end, because they have this moment, and Sam just kind of bears his soul. He had all these plans for his future, and his life was cut short. So, you know, how does he feel? You know, we're so, you know, we're so, you know, we're focused on Julie as we should be, but also, you know, if you believe in, you know, spirits and the spirit world and things like that, you know, it makes you kind of wonder, like, okay, well, how does my loved one feel now that they're no longer here? Are they, you know, watching everyone else move on while they're forever, you know, while he's forever 17, you know, all his hopes and dreams are gone. And anyway, yeah, just a very, like, I think this is an excellent read. I think this is a really good read for, you know, for teens, for anybody. But yes, it's just so poignant, you know. These two just kind of break your heart. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a while before I read anything from Mr. Dustin Tao again, because that, like I said, that ending broke me, baby. It wrecked me. All right, friends. Well, that is all that I have for you today. Thank you. All right, friends. I mean to point at you. I'm sorry. All right, friends. That is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And until the next one, friends, bye.